Okay. I love you.
Hello folks, how we're getting on? Oh, what a nice little day, if I'm being honest. It's a little bit cold, but I'll take that as long as it's dry. Honestly, this weather's been bloody rubbish recently. I've been taking the car into work because obviously after the crash I've been a little bit sore. Jesus, I'm so glad I'm back on this thing. Traffic is horrific. I hadn't took the car into work for like, I don't know, a good 6 months or something prior to my accident, and I'd sort of desensitised myself to the time that you're having to sit and wait, idling, wasting fuel, bored out your mind. Honestly, horrible. Especially in Newcastle at the moment, you've got a bridge which is undergoing renovations, so that's all down to like single lane and backed up traffic. And then just before my crash, actually, there was a flyover that essentially like joins onto the bridge, like, I don't know, a quarter of a mile up the road, which feeds a lot of traffic into Newcastle. And the council had been asking to renovate it for years, and they hadn't got the funds for it, and then suddenly they're doing an inspection and it's about to fall to pieces, so that got shut down. So now, yeah, if you try to take a car from sort of south into Newcastle, like, good luck, just at rush hour. What takes me usually 15 minutes on the bike, I was waiting over an hour in traffic. Speaking of bridges and flyovers though, I've got a young daughter who's at primary school, and just past her primary school there's like a little sort of underpass, and there was a mention of a kid from a secondary school throwing fucking rocks at cars. Like, I kind of, like, you hear this sort of stuff, but when it happens nearby, I just cannot believe, like, how thick some of these kids are. Like, you could actually fucking kill someone doing that. Never mind if it was a bike, and I know they'd fucking target a bike because of fucking how loud and, like, a bit unusual they are. Like, just murderous little bastards. I'm saying this right. Yeah, I went to this church school, and you had like the assembly, or I think they called it worship, whatever, at the beginning of the day. You get like a little bit of advice or whatever from their teacher. They do the notices, and then you say a couple of prayers or whatever. Standard crap. However, occasionally they'll get like guest speakers or whatever, and it was usually someone related to the church. And this time they had this young trainee priest. He must have been in his early 20s, straight out of seminary school. And this school I went to, it was like brand new. They'd like, we had like eye scanners, like iris or retinal scanners, so like out of what's the film? A Minority Report, where you would pay for your lunch and your library cards by scanners. And we were the first year in there. The only problem is it was in like quite a rough area, so they invested all this money and like had all this sort of tech, and it was meant to be like this really nice school, and it was church school, but they just filled it with like dodgepot kids from the local catchment area. So anyway, there's this trainee priest, and he's like wanting to make this like big deal, presumably by getting assessed or whatever on by the senior priest, and he decides to tell the parable of or the story, whatever, of Jesus, when he says, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." And what he'd done is he put on a little pebble, a little rock, on the end of each row of chairs. Now there's maybe 15-20 rows of chairs, and he instructs everyone, if you've never done anything wrong, if you've never done anything naughty, you haven't sinned, take this rock and throw it at us. But if you have sinned, which all of us have, make sure that you just pass it to the next person and they can make their decision. I just imagine when he was planning that in his head, he was like, "Oh, this is going to be class, like, I'm going to be Mr. Cool Priest, they're going to love this." Anyway, he sets the kids off. 1, 2, 3, 4 people pass the stone along, and then suddenly it's a grand piano. Oh, well, you've probably a fucking knobhead, haven't you? Yeah, there's a ting on this grand piano that's sitting behind him as the stone gets hit, and then waiting a few more seconds, and then there's another ting, and then suddenly, honestly, this avalanche of stones flying through the air like some arrows in like Game of Thrones, the Battle of the Bastards, just going da da da, raining down. And actually, I'll put my lid up, and yeah, just locking this up. New fairings, looking pretty. Yeah, not done a bad job at all, I don't think. It fills that space at the front much better now. Yeah, so where was I? More stones start flying through the air. They're hitting off this grand piano. Honestly, the grand piano, they've been bragging about it when they were building the school. I think they paid like somewhere between like 5 and 10 grand for it, and like, yeah, this is the piano was like less than a few months old, and these like pebbles are just bouncing off the bastards. The music teacher who's waiting to play like the next sort of song for whatever him who can sing starts taking flak and all. He's hiding behind the piano for cover. The priest, there's the priest standing there in shock. Anyway, I think one of the teachers speaks up and tells everyone to stop it. And then this guy, this poor priest, he's like, what the fuck do I do now? These little bastards have just fucking stoned us. He muddled through it. He was like, sorry, oh, I just visually remember it. It was fucking brilliant. After that, we never saw the fucker again. I think he went off to Lesotho in Africa. He got stoned and then fucked up out of the country. Oh, it's fucking amazing. In my last video I was talking about gear and stuff. When I got me, I've only had the other helmet and this helmet, but when I got the first helmet, I made sure that I was going to like a proper shop where I could try the helmets on, because like I've had like helmets for like snowboarding and stuff like that in the past, and like I know that makes like a big difference like this between brands, like sizing and fitting and stuff. That's much more important than like wanting a particular brand and going with that. I was looking at one of the AGV helmets, and like again, thought it looked cool. I was like, oh yeah, I might get that. I put it on, and honestly the chin bar was like right pressed up against my teeth. It was horrible. Didn't enjoy that at all. And I see people who like, and well, obviously you have a look on the Amazon listings, you can see how many things have been sold, who are buying like helmets online. I mean, one, there's a massive problem with like fake helmets, and then also if you're shipping the helmet like through Amazon or whatever, like do you really want to take the risk of your helmet being chucked about? And it's probably minor and nothing, but like it's something that I'm not massively like keen on. I'd rather it's delivered to a store by like people who deliver helmets, and there's probably just a bit more caretaking than like the average Amazon guy who's got no idea what's in the box. He just knows that it's relatively light. But yeah, I see people buying them online, and I'm like, oh, you can't have got like, unless you're very lucky, a good fit in that helmet. And maybe they don't know any different, and they just accept it, and they're just like, ah, this is just how it feels. I know there's like amounts of adjustment you can do, but if you're buying a helmet on like Amazon, you're probably not buying like a fancy pricey one. And in fairness, I didn't either when I was in the store, but like that makes it even more important because you don't have those customizability options. I think it's for gloves and like jackets and stuff as well. You just really need to get the fit right, and I think especially with safety sort of stuff, like it fit's almost as important than like the other things, like the actual level of protection it does, because if your head's going to be rattling around in like a helmet, or if you've got a loose pair of gloves and they're going to come off in a crash, like it doesn't matter how much fancy like triple density EBS foam or anything sort of shite that you've got, if your helmet's just going to like slam into your face, the same it goes, they're going to fly off with your shoes or whatever. because it's made for like the most generic riders possible, and that's fine if you're buying like a pair of trainers for kicking about, going for a walk or something. But like if you're buying stuff that actually matters safety wise, you want it to fit properly. I think it's a new rider thing. I think most people who've been riding for a while would never sort of buy stuff like that on the internet unless they've tried it before, or unless they're like comfortable and know the brand sizings and stuff like that, or if they can be arsed with the returns policy. But again, it's like the Ruroc thing. So you've got Ruroc, who I had a look actually, like not only they're insanely expensive because of the marketing spends, I'm going to get into the quality issues and what people who've been like brand ambassadors before have said about them, but I think they've only got like 4 stores in the UK. All of them are down south. I think there might be one in Wales where they can actually wear, where you can try on the helmets, and their helmets are like a bit of a weird design, the shape and stuff. So I would definitely want to put one on before I ever tried wearing it. Yeah, just weird company. Like it's almost like it's not drop shipping, but like like sort of online shipping, like you would, like, you know, these mattress companies where they're like, oh, get like a mattress in a box or whatever, and you return after 100 days. Like, I'm sure that, like, I might be wrong, their policy might be different, but most like companies when they're selling helmets or gear is generally like, unless you've ridden it, you can give it back within a period of time. But like the second you go out on the bike, it starts getting like flies and stuff stuck to it, and they can like, if they can tell that it's been ridden, they're not gonna like let you return it. Which I don't know, I just don't like. I would understand if they were cheaper as well, if there was like massive savings or like super special, but they're already ridiculously expensive for what they are, because the marketing spend is like easily accounted for 150 quid out of every single helmet that you get, especially when it comes to social media spend and paying influencers and stuff. Like that's really expensive. Like I work in doing like product research, advertising, stuff like that. I know how much these things cost. It's fucking pricey as anything. So I don't quite understand, like, go! That's right, I was going like really slow off that roundabout for some reason. Yeah, I wish I'd say something nice about them, because there's like a cool shape for people. I mean, for me, they're like, the Star Wars branding was just a bit cringe. I didn't like that, and I'm not like a massive fan of the helmet shape anyway. I like the sort of traditional, like, not necessarily MotoGP replicas or like that, but like sport replicas. Ruroc, just weird, like not being able to try your helmet on before you're buying it. I think you're going to accept a certain level of, like, unless it's really this like uncomfortable, you'll keep it. You can't be asked for the return, like you don't really know the difference. Like that's now, like you can't like try on at the same time as other helmets in the store, so your frame of reference is all skewed. Maybe I'm wrong. If anyone actually has like had a Ruroc helmet or anything, or like if you've bought them on Amazon, like, oh, was it like, have you been back and tried different helmets? Like, is the better fitting ones, like, did you get lucky? I don't know, I could be wrong. Just not me, brother, not me. Oh, my balls are fucking cold though.
Okay, I love you.